Welcome to Careless Coder. Today we will have a look at this Famicom. Motherfucker! So today we will have a look at a Famicom. And I'm all perfectly suited. I have my Fruit of the Loin copy of the Fruit of the Loom and my Kevin Klein boxer shorts. By the way, my neighbor is called Kevin Klein, so I took these from his laundry rack. And Klein means small in German and Dutch. And he's kind of small. I am wearing my Rolex Chinese Rolex. And I have my clone iPhone from China called the Spy Phone to film the close-up shots. So let's have a look at this wonderful little machine. So this is the VidiTex VT720E. E stands for Europe or European. It's the PAL version. The weird thing is, it doesn't say where it's made. Usually it says made in China, made in Taiwan. I don't even know where it comes from. But the aesthetics are kind of nice. The controllers are really close to what we see in the Famicom. They even slot in nicely. It can hold both Famicom and regular cartridges. So it's kind of a cool little device. But does it work properly? So let's plug it in and have a look. So it comes with these very standard 15-pin Famicom controller ports. We have a video out and audio out. Conveniently both colored black. And one for an RF switch. I don't have anything of that kind, but I do have a video, which I know is yellow, and an audio. Well, let's take the red one. And it has the power, which is not AC, which you don't really need in a Nintendo Entertainment System either, because it works on a DC as well. And this is 10 volt, weird voltage, but yeah, there is no LED to indicate that it's on or off, or we just simply don't know. There is an on and off switch. So let's put in Mario Bros. Actually, it slides in really nicely, I have to say. Okay. You hear a 50 Hertz hum. And you see a lot of ghosting. Oh, that is weird. The switch actually has influence. Well, let's see if we can actually fix that later on. Look at the ghosting. It is terrible. Now, if I actually touch the switch, look at that. That makes no sense. It's a power switch. Oh, but this would drive me crazy playing this. Look at that ghosting. On the camera it's not that visible, but in real life it's really visible. But yeah, it does play. Reset switch also works. That is kind of cool. But the colors are way off. The red is too dark, this is too dark. Let's open this up and see what is in there. And maybe we can fix this a little. Well, at least it's held together with screws, a lot of them. So let's unscrew. Fast forward. And what is in there? Will it be a big glob top? Big surprise. Ooh, it is discrete logic. Oh, that slots in nicely. It is really properly engineered. So I don't see a Rico 2A03 or a 2A07. The Rico 2A03 probably is this one. Now that may be the PPU. I think that is the PPU. Anyways, yeah, one of those chips is the CPU. I think this must be it. But look at that, they're even socketed. Everything is socketed. Nintendo didn't even do that. Ironically, this Rico 2A03 on the NES was already a clone of the MOS 6502. So this is a clone of a clone.
kind of interesting. It looks nice. It is laid out properly. It's very nicely engineered. Good reset button there. And that flaky switch. Yeah, there is a bit of give on there. See if I can fix that. And there is some plastic lever underneath, and that was not properly engaged with the plastic piece. Oh, the side cheek came off. I can just slot it in. Yeah. So that lever actually does something where you put it into the on state. And it was not really engaged with this little U underneath. So I think that may be part of our problem. So let's have a look. Now let's spray some magic juice in the little slot of the switch and wiggle it up and down, up and down. Actually, that is the wrong order, isn't it? Weird how electronics are inverted with biology. Yeah, there we go. Let's spray some stuff in the other slot and clean it out. It seems some little pieces of toilet paper were left behind in the slot. That came up when we rummaged around, so let's pull those out with tweezers. So nice and clean. And let's do the reverse and assemble it again. Some of that deoxit, just wipe it off. During the assembly I noticed that there is some terrible cold solder joints on joystick port 2 and also on the RF part, so let's reflow that. So I just resolder every one of the 15 pins. Many of them are just strain relief, to be honest. And here I need to check if I actually bridge something. My eyes aren't as good, but a measurement device always tells you the truth. Here I do the left one with my hand in front of it. Really awesome cinematic skills. And the same with the audio and the video connector, which I completely flooded with solder, so it remains firm when you stick it in and out continuously. Look at that. Now this is not a cheap clone. As you can see, the wire here comes from the left and here from the right, which is annoying for player 1 because you're always fumbling around with this wire. With player 2 that's really not that problem. It's more like a lever that keeps it up there. But you can see these are different molds, and that is kind of expensive. So it's not a cheap knockoff clone, really. So I assembled it again, and the hum is completely gone. Now the ghosting is still there, although it's not as pronounced. This was the best image that I got when I played with the power switch. So after cleaning that power switch, that actually solved it. Although, yeah, the ghosting, I think we can actually fix that because it's not as pronounced on a CRT by actually creating a little amplifier. Maybe I will do that in the future. But yeah, this plays like Mario. The colors are still a bit off, but yeah, that's just the hardware, the clone PPU. But yeah, it plays really nicely. I'm actually kind of impressed that sometimes clone devices are actually good.
Nice. So there you have it. We had a look at the VidiTex VT720E from 1991. It isn't a cheap clone. For 130 D-marks, Deutsche Marks, in 1991, it wasn't really cheap because I just looked it up. The NES cost 179 Deutschmarks in 1991. So a 40 Deutschmark difference. What would you have bought, the VidiTex or the NES? Bearing in mind that the VidiTex is region free. It plays American and Japanese games. So what would you have bought? I know what I would have bought in 1991. The Sega Genesis. There was no need for this clone in 1991. There was no need for an NES anymore in 1991. It was the 16-bit era. But yeah, it is nice, and it's just like a Famicom, the way that you just slide it in, you have the turbo buttons. It gave more than the NES in a smaller package. Although the colors are really ugly. And the ghosting, I think we can actually solve that because I didn't see that with the previous owner who demoed it on his CRT. So I think it's more like a matter of creating a little amplifier on here, and then I think the ghosting will be gone, to be honest. So I will have a look at that in the near future. So I hope you learned something from this blast of the past. I hope to see you in the next one.